we'll give it a few more minutes, right? It's 6 o'clock.
Okay.
We'll give people a few minutes to filter the call.
I have a question about the judges training and training for inspectors. Are those just presentations that are posted online?
Yes.
Okay. So they're just, are they videos or a PowerPoint presentation?
It's a narrated PowerPoint for
Okay.
the judges. I'm not sure. I haven't the one for inspection.
Yes,
And
that's
just-
the one.
Looks like there's an inspection one too. And so they just look at it at their leisure, anytime.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had a question. This is Rob Lefrandt over at Vernon Elementary. Are any of these archives, these conversations, to refer to later, or?
No. I don't think they're not recorded, right, Leroy?
No, they're not. They're not being recorded. So
I just had a request of somebody that said that they weren't going to be able to make it, and they were hoping that there was some way to, hear back, I guess. So I just was wondering.
most of what these calls are is Q&A for specific issues that you have after you've reviewed the documents, and everybody's going to have different questions based on their situation. But you can always call your regional support manager and talk about whatever issue you want, or you can talk to either Willem or Leroy on the email addresses I think are on the website for training. So you can contact either one of us if you have something specific about one of these topics, and we're always willing to help.
Okay.
Well, I think we should maybe get started. Welcome. I'm Willem. Willem Schulten. I'm the regional support manager out of Washington. And so Leroy's on the call, and then Mike Martis is on the call too. He's one of the directors of operations. So I wanted to start off with a quick review of the important documents when it comes to refereeing for VEX IQ. They can all be found on our website under the event partner documents. And probably the ones that are the most important for you are the referee guide, the referee score sheet, and the field reset guide, but really helps you making sure that the field is set up properly. So those are important documents to review beforehand. And the other set of documents definitely are around the inspector guides and inspection, but clearly if you are a head referee or a referee at a VEX IQ event, you need to be aware of how robots are inspected and if they are following within the inspection guidelines and things. So that's kind of those are really the important set of documents to be aware of and really study beforehand. Does everybody know where those documents are?
Yeah, I saw them.
Yeah, I think I know where the link is, but I wrote down the referee guide, the field reset guide, and the inspection guide. What were the other ones, please?
I'm sorry?
Were there any other ones that you mentioned?
No, the field reset guide, the referee scorekeeper guide, the referee guide, and then there is the referee score sheets. So they are on the website too, so you can print those out before. Those are really the important documents you need to be aware of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that's those are really the important documents. The other so those you should be familiar with and know about. And in general about refereeing, I don't know if any of you are going to be head referee or refereeing. A big part of your job is to ensure the kids have fun, be firm, but at the same time, encourage them. It's a referees. I always look at referees as a big part of making setting the tone for the event and having good referees. Referees that have good rapport with the students who come into play is an integral part of the experience for the kids. So, and with that said, I think I want to let's just open it up for questions. If you have any specific questions you would like us to address. Leroy, do you want to add anything?
No, I wouldn't say though. I'm not sure if they posted it yet, but I did a summary of all the important documents with links to where they are. If that's not posted and you want to have a copy of that, you could just send me an email, and I'll be happy to send it back to you while we're talking.
All right. Where is?
My easiest email is just Leroy, Leroy, at larobotics.org. That's a lot easier to type in the...
I'm sorry, Leroy at what?
LA Robotics, Los Angeles Robotics.
Okay.
.org. It's a nonprofit that I also run on the side.
Oh, great. So you can send us a comprehensive list of important documents? Oh, that would be handy.
Yeah, it's supposed to be posted on the training website, but I guess that they didn't get it up there yet.
Great. I'm sending the email now.
Yeah, I am too.
That's why we're not talking.
Yeah.
That's all good.
I can't talk and type at the same time.
No, I don't see that yet, Leroy.
Oh, okay. There. All right. Well, I have a question. You know, who is responsible for telling the kids to switch halfway? Switch the controller from one player to the other player.
Usually that's going to be the MC. You have the signal that comes from the timer that sounds.
Yeah.
If you get halfway, it comes at 25 seconds, and then at 30 seconds, if the referee sees that they're not switching, then the referee should remind them.
Yeah. Okay. What happens if somebody doesn't switch until like 15 seconds left till the end? Is that
Or they're not. The referee should never allow that to happen.
Right.
okay?
Part of the role of the referee is to make sure that the kids don't violate the rules, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it happen at a scrimmage before, where, you know, the referee, I think, forgot to remind them, and the kids, you know, didn't know to switch, and then they switched, like, almost at the end of the competition.
Yeah, we start to tell our referees to really be mindful of that and be encouraged that they're gonna, you know, I see that as a big part of what the referee does to ensure that the students switch that. You know, that's part of not deliberately letting them fail and things like that. So, most of the referees I work with, they're pretty proactive about it and sort of say, hey, remember the switch, remember the switch. So,
Okay. What if they don't forget to switch? What, do they get marked down or something? I'm not a referee. I'm the event planner, but we don't currently have any referees signed up. So the reason why I'm on this call is because I probably have to train them. But
so if you know, it has not happened all in 2 years of doing many VEX IQ tournaments. It has not really happened by us at all. I think what would happen by us, what we would probably do is give them a stir warning and write down their team number, and if they come to the field for a second match down the road, and they do it again, we would probably you know, DQ them for saying like, hey, you've been warned multiple times, but we try not to let it get there, right? That's the whole point of it.
Oh, I see.
It's really the referee's job is, in my opinion, is really to help the kids not to get there. You know, some kids get very fixated in that, you know, they're so fixated on the driving, right? So they need reminding, right? So.
Yes. Okay. Right. It was just a scrimmage to happen at, so, you know, of course, I'm sure it wouldn't happen at a regular tournament. Not ours.
You know, it happens sometimes. You know, you got, you know, it depends on the student, right? So.
Yeah.
Isn't there a bell or a ring that goes off at the 30-second mark or something like that, or 25 seconds as a warning?
Yeah, 25 seconds. They have 2 warnings.
Okay.
So they've got a 10-minute interval to change.
Yeah.
10-minute interval to change. So you get a 5-minute warning. I'm sorry, 5-second warning, and if they're not changing by the middle of that interval, then that's when the referee reminds them. You know, firmly switch drivers. You know,
switch drivers. Come on, guys, switch drivers. You know, so.
Right. It seems that every team has to be reminded because they're just so into it and not watching the clock.
Yeah, or they're at a strategic spot where they don't want to change.
Yeah.
I've had that too. You'll find that there's a lot of them that are doing VEX EDR as well, and that used to have a partner controller connected, and so you have two people trying to control the VEX EDR, the metal robot, and then they started saying, well, it's okay to just have one person. So there might be some people coming over from the other one that needs to be reminded.
The field, all those are spelled out in the rules. Those are things I think that are mentioned in the team meeting notes. But those are the things you need to remind the teams periodically because they will kind of forget and want to jump over there. And you'll need to say, if you want to go touch your robot, you have to put your controller down first, and then you can go over and play with the robot. No, you have to leave it up against the wall of the field. And you have that game piece on your robot. You have to take that off. That's not in the game anymore. So you just have to keep track of those things. So that's one area. If they want to go touch the robot, they can do that, but they have to put the controller down first, and they have to be cognizant of putting it in the right place against the wall, and you need to remove any game pieces that they had on it. The other issue that a starting position is another one that you need to make sure they're in their square, because sometimes they'll be oriented sideways and they'll be sticking outside of the box that they're supposed to be in. But the other issue that you need to watch for is some robots extend out beyond their box, and in inspection, a lot of times, if your inspector is doing a good job, they will make a list of the robots that could, during the match, extend out beyond the limit. If they extend an arm too far. But the worst situation is sometimes they will be making changes during the match, and a change that they make causes their robot to extend out too far, and those are hard to spot. But you see a robot that's looking like it's way too long, then you basically get back to being an inspector again and say, I need to check your robot and see if it's still within the 20 inches all the way through its range of motion.
Okay.
And then the other one really talk about in the drivers meeting and really during the first couple of rounds really try to loudly enforce this. As soon as the final sound goes, we tell the kids to put the remotes on the floor, because if they keep driving the robot and say it falls off the grids, right, and then second after the bell rings, then it's off the grids, right? So we tell all the kids basically that control it down. So the referee just basically tells the kids to control it down, so that there is no accidental moving of the joystick, when driving the robot off the grid. You have that, was it on, was it off, what do we do, so that's another kind of a good habit thing.
Right.
And really talk about during the drivers meeting and say, hey, remember, let's do that, so there's no consequences.
Is there a checklist of things that a person should cover during the drivers meeting?
Yeah, there is a
Great.
there is a document on the website for the drivers meeting.
Great. Thanks. So can I go back to something that you mentioned about mid-competition if the student has to fix the robot? So the student puts his controller down, and then he goes on the stage, fixes the tire, right? Like he notices a tire falling off. He fixes the tire. Where does he have to place the robot to start again?
Against the wall of the field.
Against the wall of the field.
Is it supposed to be at the starting spot where they first started? I thought it was supposed to be at the starting spot where they first.
No. That would be true if they were doing skills matches, but that's not true for teamwork.
Okay.
Anywhere against the wall?
Anywhere against the wall.
So the rule is that the driver must reset the robot so that it is touching the field player and not touching the grid. Any ball in possession of the robot while being handled must be removed and taken out of play for the remainder of the match. It's rule G14 what applies to that.
Oh, okay, good to know. Thanks. Sorry, that's my Christmas break homework to study all the referee material.
No, it's okay. That's why that's why we do the call. Ask the question so we can point you to the right spot.
Thank you.
Sonia, I didn't get your email.
That's weird. Maybe I typed it wrong. I was typing it on my phone. Let's see. It should have gone through. Let's see. It says requesting summary. Leroy at larobotics.com.
No, not .com. It's .org.
No, .org.
.org.
What?
It's .org.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I got it.
I'll try that again.
Okay.
So in skill challenge, the rules are all the same as for the regular game, right? Except that the one what is usually the most confusing for students is that because there is only one robot in the game at that point, if that single robot balance parts on the grid, it gets the 25 points.
Okay.
Right? But the rule says all robots on the field
right.
balance parts. And so that is always, particularly if this is the first tournament they go to, that is always confusing. And they think, well, I have one robot parked on the grid, and it's balanced, so they get the press. Oh, that's skill challenge only. So that's always, so that's the other one to sort of be aware of. And then the other big thing to make sure of is that if they do programming skills, they must bring the controller to the field. It has to be up and it has to be laying next to the field. So that there's no possibility that somebody in the stands drives the robot around, right? So that's an important rule to teach the kids as well.
What if they have two controllers with the robot? Like sometimes teams bring like multiple controllers.
They have a thing called tethering. This is Rob Lefrandt. They have a thing called tethering. So really, technically, can you have more than one controller? Because through tethering, it connects the controller with the brain.
Yeah, right. The brain will only allow one controller to talk to it.
Oh.
It has a unique carrying in there. So yeah.
So you just need to bring one controller and lay it down.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have to bring the controller that belongs with that robot. Because actually, that's an interesting question because they only can have one controller at any time with the robot, right, Leroy? Because that's part of that subsystem too, right? You can have one brain and one controller, right?
I don't think we're checking that. We don't need to check that because what the problem they're going to run into, and I would suggest this to the coaches there if you have teams, is that you need to make sure that the brain for the IQ robot and the controller have a sticky dot on them that's like green or yellow or something, because once those two are paired up, no other controller will work with that brain unless they repair the units. And so VEX IQ is a single brain, and it also is a single controller. And that's why during the 30-second mark, the noise goes off in the computer. The student has to hand the controller to the other student to drive. So it's illegal. In fact, you physically can't have two controllers on the system. It won't work.
Okay.
No, but we can talk about this offline, Leroy and Mike, because I know where the hole is. But
yeah, I think I know what. Because technically, you could have a controller that doesn't work, and they'd say, "Oh," and then you'd have the other one out and in the crowd actually being used. If you didn't, I guess you could prove that it's the controller by making it move with the controller there and then turn it off and stuff. But I don't know if you want to go through all that.
Right. Yeah, there is.
Most teams that do the programming skills, their programming runs will actually score higher than their driving runs.
That's funny. Okay. Well, what are some of the other things that unexpected that have happened to you that could happen to us?
I think you need to be aware of when a ball leaves the field, that it goes back, and particularly if, particularly when, for example, they try to score a ball in the high goal and it rolls off to the back, right? Then the ball gets put back into the field in front of the goal. It doesn't get put into the high goal. It just gets put back on the field in front of the high goal. So that's one that you need to really be aware of. And the other one is on the fence when the ball gets, when they try to pick up a ball from the fence and it falls out of the field, to make sure that it goes back in the field, not on the fence. It goes actually on the field.
On the floor.
Well, they have a clarification in the rules that if you can't tell which side it was going towards, the blue or the orange, you can actually put it back on the fence.
Right.
Oh.
That was in the forums. But in general, you're going to know it either rolled one way or the other, and that's the side you put it back on.
Yeah. I see. Okay. Who puts the ball back in? The referee?
Yes, the referee, yes.
Okay.
The kid
Or field reset if there happen to be there, they could do it too.
Oh, okay. They're allowed to help. Okay.
Yeah, but not a team member. So the student driver does not get to pick up the ball and put it back in. And then, keeping the kids in the driver stations, 2 drivers only. So the 2 drivers on each team in the driver box, everybody else away from the fields. So that's important too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Leroy, do you have any other interesting things you've seen?
I can't think of anything like that.
Is there any ever a time where they get to redo it? No, right?
Not really, because 2 things. Number 1, there's going to be several matches, and number 2, every 4th match gets dropped. So even if they have a bad run, it really doesn't matter.
Okay. Right, because what if their robot stops working?
Well, that's part of the game. That's why they can take it out of the field. Put the controller down, take it out of the field, try to restart it. That's. We had a robot on Saturday what died halfway through the game and ran out of batteries, and we go like, well, the red light was flashing, man. You shouldn't have known the battery was empty, right? So the only time when we will restart a game is when the game sound didn't start, and so the kids are confused if they could start or not start. But that happens really, really rarely. Usually because somebody picks a power cord or something like that. But that's been like the only times when I've replayed a match or restarted a match because the timer, the sound didn't go off and the kids started too late or didn't hear it. So.
I see. Okay. Good to know.
Can I ask this real quick? I'm trying to find the information again, and people were asking about this at the scrimmage. So I don't have it. I apologize. I don't have it right on me, but we talked a little second ago about the height, width, and length of the robot. So because they go through inspection, it has to be a certain height. Is it still 15, 13, and 20?
Yes. So the robot has to start out as being 13 to 20 inches, and it may never grow out of that size. It has to start out 15 inches or less, and after the game has started, it may grow over the 15 inches, but it has to start out at 15 inches.
Okay, that was a question, because if you do like a longer arm, to have it reach up higher, then I could see that some of that would get higher, and then length is 20.
Yeah.
So
that's important in inspection too, right? Because if they folded up their arm and they fit in 13 by 20, then you have to make them move their arm in the farthest position and make sure that when the arm is out in the farthest position that they're still 20 inches long, right? They can never get out of that 20 inches dimension.
Okay. All right. So.
So look at G3 in the game rules. It has pretty good explanation about the 13 and 20 inches and the 15 inches height and with the arm.
Okay.
And the referee, you're in a good position to just put the robot on the field, and you can compare it to the outsides of the lines on the field, and you can see exactly what the outside dimensions are horizontally. The vertical, you still have to have a way to measure. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Are we supposed to have the inspectors put stickers on the robots that have passed inspection?
That would be highly recommended. Yes.
Okay. Where do we put the stickers? So can we just put it anywhere?
So we have made the practice that we have little yellow color stickers we buy at Staples, and then we stick them on the license plate.
On the license plate?
Yeah, because they have to have two visible license plates on opposing sides of the robot, and we'll stick it on one of the license plates. So then the referees always know where to look, right? Because it should be on the license plate.
Okay. So do you just get those little round stickers from the?
Yeah, the little round stickers. They come in a stack of 500, all that stuff like that, and they really stick them on that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then we run multiple events, and then what we'll do is we'll swap colors so that if we use red this week, then we'll use green next week, right? So then you stick it over there or peel it off and stick it over there. Yeah, so we do that.
Okay.
But that's easy. So yeah, stickers work really well, and putting them on a little corner in the license plate, and the referees know where to look. It's always in the same spot. They just have to find the license plate. Boom. So.
Okay, sounds good. Did you say that yesterday on the conference call that I was on? Did you say that high school students can be referees?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I use a lot of my high school students. They love it.
Okay.
You still have to. You need an adult head referee around, or an adult, an overseer. But clearly there can be some situations where you get the hockey dad or robotics suddenly running up to the field. It's not. I don't like to put a high school kid in that situation. So.
I see.
But they make great referees. They love being with those kids. I find it creates a very cool, positive atmosphere. College kids are good too. You can get college kids from the School of Education or something, or early childhood program at a community college or something like that. They're great too.
Okay. Well, I don't have any more questions. Like I said, I'm not a referee, but I'm just here to learn information, and I will study the information over the break. But I don't have any more questions.
Okay.
And
if you do, call, email Leroy or me, or we'll be glad to help you.
Okay, that would be great. How does Nancy fit into the picture?
So Nancy is the head regional support manager in California, and I help her. And I do mostly administrative stuff. So if you're dealing with robot events and registration and ordering stuff, then I'm the one that you deal with.
Okay.
If you're looking for training, you can call either one of us.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
And she's up north and I'm down south, so she's the one that you're most likely going to see.
Yes.
She's based in San Jose.
Great. That's not too far. Okay, thank you. I just got a document from you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
all right, and then this is Rob Lefrandt over at Northeast Arizona. Rosemary and Pam Smith, I guess, were the ones that were kind of over this area last few years. Do you know about them?
Yes. Yes.
So who replaced them again? Who should I be talking to?
Was that Corey, right? Yes, that is Corey.
Yes, that's Corey. Yes.
Corey?
And all of her contact information will be listed on roboticseducation.org on the contact us.
Okay.
Map, and then if you select Arizona, it has phone numbers and everything you need to know.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate it. I think that's about it for me too. I'll just look at the documents you sent and whatever else, and then I'll talk with Corey then if I need anything else.
Yeah. Just one other piece of news. We are expecting to have referee videos roughly the beginning of the year. We haven't got a date announced yet for those, but the target is to have them ready by the beginning of the year, very shortly thereafter.
Oh, that would be great. Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah. Good luck. You're welcome here, man.
Okay.
Well, I guess I have one other question. Are you still there?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir, yes.
I have teams in both elementary. Well, we're K-8, so we're elementary, middle school, and so we do both VEX IQ and EDR. And so I guess with VEX IQ, is it pretty much there's only one tournament, right? There's not elementary and middle school.
It depends on how many teams you have. We have lots of events that are just elementary or just middle school in California.
Okay, but going to state though, because I actually had a team competing that was K-8, and so we were competing against high schoolers, and they didn't have a middle school category, and then they told us at the last minute that there was a middle school category and that we qualified for state, but it was kind of too late. So there's not. Oh, go ahead.
I think that depends a little bit how many teams there are in the state. So that would really be a Corey question to find out.
Okay.
About middle school, elementary school separate state tournaments, and middle school versus high school VRC tournaments.
But the events should be posted by now too. So the championship event should be posted. If there's going to be separate middle school, it should be posted separately.
Okay.
If it's not posted separately, then
I just checked. This is Mike, and you do have an Arizona VEX IQ Challenge Middle School State Championship, and then you have an Arizona VEX IQ Challenge Elementary School State Championship. But I'm seeing that one has not, for whatever reason, been turned on.
Huh.
So I will go ahead and ping Corey and ask her about that event. Okay.
I appreciate
But
that.
should be opened up. Yeah, that should be opened up anytime soon.
Well, so then even though this was an IQ question, can we check and see if there's also the same thing for EDR if maybe the middle school hasn't been activated? Because to me it seemed like it was a last minute thing, and so we weren't aware, and so we were competing against.
Okay. I'm right there now.
I see two events for VRC. I see a middle school and a high school.
Okay, so you have a middle school and elementary for IQ, and a middle school, high school for some call it VRC and some call it EDR. I guess I don't know what the correct one is on that.
That's the same. It means the same thing.
Okay.
EDR is referring to the initials that are on the actual kits.
Yeah.
VRC is the high school, middle school program. So they're sort of used interchangeably.
Okay. Huh. So I guess because I'm kind of one of the ones in helping out with both the IQ and the VRC tournament and so we have really a bunch of middle school and elementary for IQ, and we have a bunch of middle school and high school in the EDR. So I guess we'll just.
I'm saying middle school and elementary are both active. They both have teams registered. They are different weeks for VEX IQ.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the state tournament though. Is there one for?
For state championship, they've got elementary on 218, and they've got middle school on 225 for VEX IQ. And then for VRC, they've got 3, 4 for both middle school and high school.
Yeah, they're all four there. They have.
Yep, I was confused. I was looking at a previous one. Yeah, I was looking at a previous one, so I was wrong that it wasn't open.
Okay.
Yep.
So I need to talk to Corey then to see if we should allow a certain amount of middle school slots for the EDR VRC.
I think the conversation probably is best if you would just contact her directly
Yeah.
and pose those questions to her, because if I feed her the questions, I may get it all messed up.
Okay.
It would be better directly from you so that you're both on the same page, so that the answer that she gives you is 100% the correct answer. Okay?
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Which event is it that you're running?
We're the northern Arizona.
The RC qualifier?
Yeah, it's January 7th for the IQ, and then January 21st for the VRC.
VOC. Yep.
It's growing, so we could have as many as between 20. I guess it's in multiples of 8 or something. Between 24 and 30 for both.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the VRC right now, and it's got 5 spots to the championship with 2 excellence awards. So you're expected to have 1 for middle school and 1 for high school, and then 3 for the tournament champions.
Okay.
And the IQ is also configured for middle school and elementary school excellence.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll double check that.
But you should be able to see that when you look at your event, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm kind of the assistant to this, so but I'm supposed to relay this to the Eric Fogel, who's kind of the head of it. So.
But if you have any questions, Corey's the one to talk to.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that's it.
All right.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Good luck.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.